The foreign currencies and foreign exchange simulation gives your students the opportunity to participate in a foreign exchange market, learn what exchange rates are, and more importantly, why they exist. For this activity, you'll need a large quantity of small candies or something else valuable to the students. We use candy, but you could use pencils, bonus points, even bathroom passes. You'll also need 10 to 15 classroom bucks, as well as a large stack of Saudi Arabian riyals. Approximately 10 riyals per student would be more than enough. To begin, pass out 2 to 3 riyal notes to each student. It's not important that each student have the same amount. In fact, it's more realistic if they don't. Then show the 5 pieces of candy that you have for sale. Tell them that the price of each candy is 1 classroom buck. Then open it up and ask if anybody would like to buy candy. $1. So do I have anybody that would like to buy some M&Ms? What do you have?
$1.
That's $1? Let me see. No, I don't think that's a buck. It's one. I said $1, 1 classroom buck. Does anybody have any classroom bucks? No, that appears to be a rial. As they begin to offer rials for candy, again emphasize that the price of candy is $1. Let them discover and solve the problem. I don't know.
I'll trade you.
You'll trade me what?
I'll give you one of these for one of those.
1 for 1? Okay. It won't take long for students to start offering rials for $1. Begin to auction off each of the $5 for round 1. Don't worry about getting the absolute highest price for each buck, but do allow some bidding. Record the prices that each buck sold for in round 1 on the board. Who else did a trade? How many? I gave you 2. 2 for 1. Who else? 2 for 1. Then open the store and allow the students with bucks to buy candy. Open. My store is open, and if you would like to buy M&Ms and you have $1, come on up here and buy some M&Ms. Some students may choose to hold on to their bucks, and that's okay. Thank you. Place 5 more candies out in the store. Okay. Ask the students if they want to play another round. I'm sure they'll reply enthusiastically. Would you guys like some more money? Some more money? More money? Pass out a few more rials to each student. Okay, let me give you guys some more money. Auction off 5 more bucks, just as you did in round 1. What do you give me for $1? How about 6? How many? 13. I like it. 13. Okay. Let the bidding go until the prices exceed those of round 1. And don't worry, because they're holding more rials, it won't take long. Record the prices in round 2. 20? 21 for 1. And open the store to sell the candy for bucks. All right, the store's open if you have $1 and you'd like to buy some M&Ms. It's important that the candy you offer for sale from round to round is the same. This way you're controlling for other variables, and you can ensure that any changes are not due to the fact that the candy got better or worse. Pass out more rials and conduct one final round of the activity. 200? 10? 200, I'll take it. Once again, recording the prices they paid for bucks in the last round. 200 for 1. Who else? The key things to focus on as you debrief this activity are what exchange rates are and why they exist. An exchange rate is the price of a currency in terms of another. Exchange rates exist because people have a demand for other currencies. And people have a demand for other currencies because they have a demand for the goods and services that they can purchase with that currency. In this case, they demanded candy, and therefore they demanded bucks with which to purchase the candy. Finally, help the students understand what types of things cause exchange rates to change. In our activity, it's not the price of candy that goes up. The price of candy was $1 in every round. Instead, it was the price of bucks that changed. Just like in any other market, prices are determined by the interaction of supply and demand. Anything that makes people more or less willing to exchange their currency for another ultimately affects the demand and supply of currencies in the foreign exchange markets. For example, if Americans had a greater demand for goods from Japan, so too would they have a greater demand for yen with which to purchase those goods. And to get the yen, they'd have to supply more of their dollars in exchange. As Americans bid the price of yen up, the dollar would depreciate relative to the yen, and the yen would appreciate relative to the dollar. Likewise, the stability of a country's monetary system, the strength of their economy, the potential returns that can be earned on investments, and even perceptions about the future can all affect the supply and demand of currencies in foreign exchange markets. Remember, this is not an activity about inflation. The price of the candy is one classroom buck throughout. There are more reals being spent to get classroom bucks, but we don't know why that is. Because I was handing out money, it may look like there was an increase in the money supply in the student's home country, that there is an inflation in reals. But again, we don't know that. We only have a few buyers of classroom bucks in each round, and we don't know why they're offering more reals. It could be that there's an inflation, but it could also be changes in individual buyers' circumstances that made them willing to offer more reals for classroom bucks. It could be that students like M&Ms so much that they've taken money out of their bank accounts to purchase them. It could be that any particular student got a new job and has more income to spend on M&Ms. It could be that another student came into a sudden inheritance or developed an addiction to chocolate. In any case, the students bid the price of the bucks up in each round. For purposes of this activity, treat inflation as a separate topic. The focus of this lesson is about exchange rates. For a more detailed explanation of inflation and the money supply, check out Economics for Leaders Lesson 9, Money and Inflation, on the FTU website. In the end, foreign exchange markets are like any other market. They're dynamic. Constantly changing supply and demand of currencies results in constantly fluctuating prices. And in this case, we call those prices exchange rates.